Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we'll meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they went above and beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin, and I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, law firms, and their clients. So let's applaud Lawyers Who Care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Aaron Feldman. He is an attorney with Feldman Law Group, and he focuses on estate planning and elder abuse. Welcome, Aaron.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Terrific. So, Aaron, tell us about how you became an attorney and what made you focus on your current practice focus.
Sure. I had always, in the back of my mind, thought I would become an attorney when I was in college. I took a year off, tried to make inroads in the entertainment business. And when that didn't really take off, law school looked like the best option. So I went back to plan A. And so I've been a lawyer for over 30 years. And about 16 years ago, I had an opportunity to start my own law firm. And I've been Feldman Law Group ever since.
Got it. And Walnut Creek, California is known for?
Well, it is in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's what we call the East Bay. And it is essentially a hub community. It's a center of legal and financial businesses in the county, so Contra Costa County. And so it's a very busy, well-developed, nice community for families and businesses.
Got it. So before we started today, you and I had a little pre-chat, and some of the stories sounded terrific. Do you want to pick one that you think that people watching might be interested in?
Sure, but I also want to first mention that when I did start my law firm and decided to get into the estate planning field, I'd been involved in a lot of litigation prior to that. And when I chose estate planning, I specifically wanted to get involved with special needs community. But because that isn't 100% of my practice, I've sort of had to develop all of the other estate planning, probate, and trust practice areas that sort of gather around the special needs work that I do. And that's been very, very gratifying. But in terms of recent issues, one thing I'm very pleased about is this year I've had two examples where developers or investors have tried to engage in what I consider financial elder abuse by approaching beneficiaries after a parent has passed away and getting them to sign away their inheritance rights because they are afraid there's a tax lien on the property, they might lose the property, there's a reverse mortgage or some other issues. And so in exchange for signing away their inheritance rights, they're only going to receive 30 to 40% of what they normally would receive. And what was really upsetting to me and what got me involved in these cases is that they weren't going to be paid until the very end of the probate anyway. So it's not like these developers walked up and wrote a check and sent the beneficiary on their way. They said, no, you have to wait till we finish the probate, and then we'll just pay you less than what you should get as a beneficiary. And fortunately, the courts in California have authority to scrutinize these types of arrangements. And the courts, understandably, in these cases, ruled that these agreements were not fair and reasonable. And when I think of those types of situations, these are individuals who do not have the money to hire an attorney. And so I step in and take on these cases, confident that I can get the result for the client. And then I'm willing to defer my compensation until the probate or the estate is in a position to pay for those services. And so that is very eases a big burden off of the clients in those situations because they really have nowhere to turn. And in the most recent example, my client had been working with a nonprofit, Oakland Fair Housing Organization, and they reached out to me after I had achieved this result for the client to try to figure out what I had done, and because apparently they run into multiple people, potential clients with this same issue, and so we're trying to figure out a way to help more people in these situations.
That's great. And so obviously this comes towards the end of a raging bull market because the developers would not be so desperate for product at the beginning of a raging bull market. How long have you been seeing this, and how much longer do you think, this will be an issue? Will it get better or will it get worse?
I think even though we're at the end of this bull market, property values aren't going to collapse. So the increase of equity that the developers are looking at is still going to be there going forward, even if it flattens out for the next year or two. So I think it's going to be a continuing problem. And what it comes down to is, the parents didn't have the resources. Some of the elderly parents, they've run out of money. They're still living in the home. And usually the child that's living there is taking care of them, but they are no longer, they're retired themselves. Their parents are in their 90s sometimes. So these are houses that have been owned by mom or dad for 30, 40, or 50 years. So there's a lot of equity.
Sure. So this is a perfect example of lawyers who care and how we can learn from them. So just so everyone knows, my guest today is Aaron Feldman. He's an attorney with Feldman Law Group in Walnut Creek, California. Aaron, so that people can get in touch with you, can you share your phone number twice, please?
Sure. My telephone number is 925-283-6691. That's 925-283-6691.
Great. And a web address or email, whatever works for you?
Sure. The best way to find me is just www.feldmanlawgroup.com.
Got it. So, Aaron, thank you so much. This has been the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. Again, my guest today was Aaron Feldman. He is an attorney with Feldman Law Group. And again, he focuses on estate planning and elder law abuse in Walnut Creek, California. If you're an attorney or know an attorney that might be appropriate for this podcast, please reach out to us at info@samalinwealth.com. info@samalinwealth.com. And Aaron, I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Andrew, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.